Good morning, everybody, on Friday, 21st of July. Woke up very early. Johnny and I were speaking on WhatsApp, and we thought, why not do a little pop up quickly for an hour before Sava goes live? So, Johnny, how are you, first of all,
I
buddy?
got that Friday feeling. Huh? I got that Friday feeling, that Friday Tottenham feeling, where when you thought it was going great, it turns around and bites you on the arse, and it goes boop, like that.
It,
Yep.
it does. It does. It does. I'm
I'm
just going to
a
say hello to a
Spurs
couple of
fan.
people in here first. Phil, listen, Brian Ireland did that thumbnail. I have told him to remove the red tie. I can't believe he did it in the first place, but
A
we
red
haven't
tie.
had it.
What?
If you look at the thumbnail, he's done me doing the news, and I'm wearing a red tie, which really he should know better by now. So that's going to get
Oh my
done.
God.
Big up Cooper, brother. Big up Denton. Big up Robbie, and big up Lee and other people that are
Morning,
coming in
guys.
now. But that is coming. So, Johnny, obviously there's two bits of news to really discuss about, but we're going to see what people want to speak about during this. But everyone's talking about Kane. We're going to do that a little bit later.
Who?
Obviously, yeah, exactly. I mean, who? The saga that doesn't go away. But yesterday evening, Last Word on Spurs broke it, or someone broke it, and Last Word on Spurs put it out, and I retweeted it immediately. A couple of days ago, after we lost to West Ham, we were linked and we had the bid, and everything was going swimmingly for Ashley Phillips, who could be a really good addition to this football club in the future, and a sign of intent of where we're going, as in looking for the young players again and trying to go down that avenue of recruitment. And then it broke that there's been a snag with the price, and the deal may collapse. It's great news. It's just typical Spurs, isn't it? This don't happen anywhere else, does it?
Listen, we have a history, and unfortunately, it's like the boy who cried wolf. Even if this story isn't true, no one's going to believe Tottenham, right? It's as simple
Yep.
as that. Look, I didn't like the reaction to Ashley Phillips. I got told about Ashley Phillips about 18 months ago that we were monitoring him, and I took the keen
Word. Word.
monitoring FC, yeah, monitoring. Interested FC, and many others. So I followed his career. I mean, it was quite incredible. So, making his debut at 16 as a centre back, was quite something in the Championship. So I was following his career, and then in January, because I knew we were trying to recruit 16 to 19-year-olds, well, Paratici was, and we've done a good job doing that. I asked what was going on with him. It's gone dead. He's come off a bit. It's too early for him. I think he played 8 games and 6 sub games across different competitions. But I was really interested in him. Anyway, when we get linked to signing him, Spurs Twitter went into meltdown because this wasn't Mickey Van de Ven. This wasn't Tapsoba. Who is this Ashley Phillips? Now, I understand that, because to the average fan who didn't know that we were monitoring him, this is a joke, right? So I spent most of the morning trying to explain to people just how good this kid is, right? And he's really good, right? Both feet, quick, elegant passer. I could go on, right? For his age, it's phenomenal. England international, at most levels. He had a medical on Wednesday. Now, I have a feeling that everyone's playing Levy at his own game now, right?
Yeah.
They know that they can throw the shit into the press and he's going to get buried. Because I do believe that fee, the fee that was mooted, just to let you know, a few months ago was £3 million. It was £3 million, right? Now that they've got the medical, you wouldn't go ahead with the medical unless you agreed the fee, because Blackburn wouldn't have allowed it, right?
Yeah.
But it's now 5 million, right? And they're entitled to do it, right? They're doing to Levy what Levy has done to every other bloody club throughout Europe, to the point where most people don't want to deal with him. So I still believe the deal's going to get done. But I mean, it is just laughable. We are just, when you think that, Arsenal are signing Declan Rice for 105 million, that took months, but, and Havertz for 65, and Villa are out there signing players left, right, and centre. And we started well, but when we're desperate for centre backs, and we still, I mean, as I told you, I was told the Mickey van der Ven deal was getting done on the 24th of June. We are now the 21st of July, you know, and we're desperate. We're desperate. We got nothing. Laughable. So the fact that we can't even get a kid across the door without an issue is worrying. But listen, don't worry. You know, Daniel and Donna are relaxing out in Bondi Beach.
They're in Thailand now, not Bondi, mate.
Yeah,
not Bondi.
Sorry. Yeah, they went out to Thailand. Yeah,
mate. I do have to say, I think we keep talking about interested FC monitoring it. I think we're going to start calling us Hold Up FC.
Hold up, interested.
Tottenham Hold Up FC. That's what THFC stands for now. Tottenham Hold Up FC. This is bad. And as I was saying to your coach, surely, Johnny, people in the chat, you would think, and I've seen there's some people in here from Australia that I haven't seen before. So big up to the people from Australia coming in. The power of Ange, exactly. The power of Ange. Well, you've got to start thinking, when these hold-ups come in, what do people like Tapsoba and Van der Ven think when they think, okay, they've signed a young centre-back, that one, but when they say, oh, there's a hold-up there. There's another. This happened with Blackburn. Need the money, so there's links.
That's maybe. Yeah, no, I think. Listen, we are a victim of our own behaviour, right? That's what it is. I actually do believe. Look, it's very, very, very unusual for a club to agree to go as far as a medical, and for the selling club to say no. Actually, you know, we want 5 million, right? I know Spurs, but it has taken Spurs a long time. We have been looking at this player for a long, long time. Okay. Whether the opportunity came up suddenly because Blackburn are in financial trouble and Spurs thought, hey, you know, we'll offer a bit less. You know, I mean, when did we miss an opportunity to sign a player that we were interested in, you know, to try and, you know, it doesn't always work for us, does it? I mean, look, it didn't work for us with Grealish when we tried to lowball them. Didn't work with Maddison, didn't work with Bowen. You know, we could go on and on and on. I hope the kid comes. But Spurs fans need to just relax a bit, because this guy is one for the future and he is a top talent. And for £3 million, just like Manor Solomon, it's a no-brainer, okay? We should be happy that we've actually got people in the club now who know what scouting is. Unfortunately, whatever those scouts do and however smart they are, they will be tarnished by the fact that Levy economics are at hand somewhere.
I think what we've got to look at as well is, as 3-for-all has just said, we are 3 weeks away from the season.
Yeah.
21 days away from the season, having known centre-backs was an issue, having known this needs to be fixed, having known we've just had our worst defensive record in Premier League history, yet still, there is no defenders. And I don't think we're even close. We got told that the new round of talks happened this week with Van der Ven and Tapsoba to get this done. We're here at Friday. And I had to have a comment today because on Spurs Official's YouTube, because they released a short with Basuma doing the pigeon, going, whose pigeon is best, Basuma's or Richarlison's? And I just couldn't resist. I had to say, that's the question you want to ask right now? How about you answer my one and the Spurs fans one of where's our centre-backs? Because our social media team just do not know what they're doing, do they?
No, I mean, look, I've got to say, Arsenal's social media, apart from that horrendous dance of Rice Baby, right, which was just cringe-inducing, right? You know, their social media seems more in touch with all ethnicities. They're just more in touch. They seem more in touch. Ours are just, you know, doing that stuff. It was laughable. Look, last transfer window, okay, people were saying to me, how do you rate the transfer window? And when I was saying 3 out of 10, This was in, I think, 10 days to go in the transfer window last August. I was called harsh. Well, I'm sorry, it's not harsh, because we knew we were one injury away from disaster, right? That's if, Romero got injured. It got worse than that because everyone got injured. I think we even scrimped on, as I said, I even think we scrimped on our medical staff because I'm sure they're vets, not medical people. I mean, really, honestly, I mean, I don't know where he got them from. I mean, honestly, there must have been bargain bucket medical team. I'll never ever forget that Benton Core incident. With that injury, should have been carried off at an instant. No, but listen, going back, the centre back issue is beyond belief. We got a new manager that's come in that I thought was going to lay down the law and be tough, right? Now, I really like Ange, okay? He was never on my list, but I really like him. I love the way he comes across. He's direct, great. But there's just a little bit of me now that's just beginning to get a little bit itchy, because obviously Levy's turned around to him and said, look, Ange, look, see all these players I've got here. Look, I'll show you a list. Look, here's a list. There's a list of all these players. I bought them in the sale, right? Don't know what to do with them. Can you do me a favour? Could you have a look at them? He said, what have you got? I've got Eric Dyer. I've got Sanchez. I've got Tanganga. I've got Davis. And he's probably looked at him and he said, look, take them there. So he's taken everyone on this plane. I don't know what Ange is thinking, but I did expect him to not be happy with what he's been dealt here, because no one's going to tell any fan out there, right? Whether no one's got a Dyer agenda or a Davis agenda. It's just pure football. Neither of them, in fact, none of them can play the high line. I even question whether Romero can play high line football because of the pace that's needed. Why have we not addressed the issue? I mean, it was great, but great getting all these signings in. But the first signing to shut the fan base up, you could have got one centre back, a left-sided centre back, so that he could pair up with Romero. Because that's the pairing that's the most crucial. A right-sided centre back, whilst we'll need one, that is not critical. We could have got them together and start forming a partnership. How are you going to form a partnership? You're going to start forming a partnership when we're playing Brentford and Man United in the first two games. Who's going to get the blame? Ange.
Correct. Yeah, like you said, you look at it. We've needed to address this centre back issue so very.
One centre back in 3 years.
Well, one on loan, and for the love of God, and I can see Ben. I can see Ben is in the chat, and Ben and I have said it. If Lenglet signs, Tottenham on tour will be going live, and it will be me and Ben in court with the watchers being the judge, jury, and executioner to see who's more pissed off, as we pretty much do probably a 3-hour rant each on the wonder of Clement Lenglet and why he's come back. So if that does happen, but we can't continue like this.
I've got great news for you on that front, Brian, because Clement Lenglet, as you call him, Long Leg, has gone on tour with Barcelona.
And you know what? He'll probably have a shock. Do you know what? They'll probably meet when we play and wrap the deal up. Like, he came on tour with you, but he'll come back with us.
What are you talking about?
There's room on the plane for one more. He'll come. But now I've said it. I can't get that thought out of my head.
Listen.
Oh no.
We're playing Donetsk so we can pay for Solomon, right? And we're going to play Barcelona so we can pay off for Lenglet.
Now, you know what? The more and more I need to change that. Let's stop talking about Lenglet, because it's like Beetlejuice. If you say his name more than a few times, he's going to appear. So I don't want that to happen. But yes, spoken about Phillips. Joe, let's have a little chat about Hojbjerg, because it looks like this deal's moving forward, doesn't it? It looks like Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg will be joining Atletico Madrid. And do you know what, Johnny? What I will say about this is, I think if you were to say Diego Simeone needs a midfielder to do the job that his style of football requires, I don't think you can get a better signing like for value than Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg going to Atletico Madrid.
Listen. He's such a divisive player, and I think a lot very unfair abuse that he gets. I really do. He does a job for us, okay? You know, Pep rates him, Mourinho rates him, you know, Conte rated him. You know, our fans, right? Our fans aren't great judges. I mean, if you look at his performances for Denmark, he plays a completely different game, plays in a different position, much further forward, and influences the game. He's played 100 games over the last 2 seasons. He did a job for us. He was carrying an injury for the last 3 months of the season. Is anyone interested in that? No. Look at him, he's this, look at him, he's that. But as soon as Sonny announces that he carried an injury, that's why he was bad. Look, I think Hojbjerg is a leader. He's a warrior. He goes into those games no matter what. And I really believe that he's going to be difficult to replace. If we do not replace him, I will be fuming, right? And unless you're buying Alex Scott or Lavia, if you were telling me we're getting rid of Hojbjerg and we're buying Lavia or Alex Scott, I can accept that. Or even Paulinho at Fulham, because top player. Paulinho's got more interceptions, twice as many interceptions as any other player in the Premier League last season. A superb player. A little bit on the older side, he's 27, 28. But I think I'm not going to be happy to see him go if we aren't replacing him. If we're going to use that money to buy centre-backs, okay, we need centre-backs. But what's going to happen? Bentancur is struggling with his ACL to come back. I know people think he's flying. He's not flying, okay? I'd be amazed if he's kicking a ball in any you know,
capacity.
Until January. But, you know, we're going to be scarce. Skip isn't good enough. I'm sorry for all you Skip fans out there. He's just not good enough, okay? He reminds me of the film Rocky, when in Rocky 1, when Rocky Balboa, when they're training Rocky for the fight, and Mickey tells him to get in the cage and chase the chicken, right? Chase the chicken around the cage. That is Skippy, right? You know, great, but not for the aspiration. We have Sarr, we have Basuma, who's I think is going to have a fantastic season.
Yep.
I just think we do need another one. Divine's going to have great promise. You know, we've got Maddison, but I just think we need another maybe defensive midfielder. He's going to go. If he's going to go, you're right. Simeone, perfect for him and his style of football.
Yeah, I think this deal gets over the line. Guys, if you have any questions, just put a Q and then a question, and we'll go through some questions as well. And you know what? We've spoken about that. I don't want to talk about this for long. Hopefully some questions will come in, because I'm just so bored, and I know you are, of this conversation.
Can I just say, sorry, just one other thing. I just want to say, you know, Ange does not want to get rid of Hojbjerg. Can I just say that?
I didn't know.
This is Hojbjerg actually having 2 years left on his contract. They don't want it to go to a year. He said he's not really going to look at signing a new contract. So this is the best for both player and club. I think the hate out there needs to calm down a bit. There are other players that should be leaving on a jet plane, and I don't know when I'll be back again. Well, no one cares.
I have to say, actually, I've been abandoning the comments. I'm going to start making sure I pay a bit more attention. But this one's just caught my eye from Michael. Fans criticise players on social media, and we are rewarded with Eric Dyer documentaries, and then Skip in, and then the Skip diary room. Yeah, I mean, I've heard people tell me they try. I don't know if this is true, but apparently with the Eric Dyer documentary, we were we did a bit on our video before, didn't we, about the dual dual nationality, bilingual commentary during the West Ham game. Yeah. But then what I've heard, that on the Eric Dyer documentary, when they speak Portuguese, they don't even put subtitles up for you to understand what's speaking about. So there's like parts of this documentary whether Eric Dyer or when they're over in Portugal visiting his roots and everything, speaking Portuguese non-stop. No idea. No idea what they're talking.
I haven't even watched it. Listen, look, I think one of Eric Dyer's highlights has got to be the leap into the stands. That was the most passion that I've seen him have, really, since he's been a Spurs fan. I don't know about you, but I haven't heard the old classic tune, I love Eric Dyer, Eric Dyer loves me. I haven't heard that one in a while. I can't think why that could possibly be.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be hearing that one. But I have to say, we have a question, and it's from Phil, and you started something here now. He wants to Chase the Chicken podcast from Tottenham on Tour. So, do you know what, Phil? Maybe we get you involved on that. Maybe that can be you may have come up with a new title for a show. Ben can work on something that can befit that. But I think you may have started something. Chase the Chicken podcast from Tottenham on Tour. Got another question coming, Johnny. I'm going to let you go for this one from Tyree. If we sign Tapsoba and Van der Ven, followed by Lenglet on a free as fourth choice, will you be angry at Lenglet? I'll let you go first because I'm going to be very.
Listen, look, I know he gets a lot of bad stick, but listen, you don't pay 160 games for Barcelona, right? If you're crap, okay? 160, not 6 or 16 or 60. He's still only 27 years of age, might be 28 now. 15 caps for France, cap for France at every youth level, all the way up to full international. He has something about his game. He can pass the ball, right? I understand the hate. The thing is, with Spurs fans, it becomes we do have a herd mentality. 1-1 picks it up. We tend to run with it. I'm not saying he's the greatest defender in the world. I'm not going to sit here and say he doesn't make mistakes. But if I pointed out a few times that he set goals up with some of his passing, but I think as a backup, like the Eintracht Frankfurt game, I can think of a few games where he had really good games. He started poorly. I'm not going to deny that. But as a backup for Tapsoba and Van der Ven, I don't have a problem with it, especially if, again, we managed to sign him on a free or £4 or £5 million at the age of 27. I think it's a good deal. Most people seem to, the way people talk, you think he was 33 years of age, and at the end of his career. So that's my take on it.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say I love doing these pop-ups because obviously we pop up at random times, and we have over 100 of you watching without any pre-playing or anything. So thank you for spending your Friday morning with us. Right, Johnny, you and me agree on so many things when it comes to Tottenham and life in general, but we could not be further apart on this.
What I love about football.
I honestly, I would rather play a youth academy product with a broken leg and have him as backup than one Clement Lenglet. I would rather we have Ashley Phillips come in and be behind. This guy, he may have played 160 games for Barcelona, and his best position is in a back three. But with the back three, when you've got PK and other people playing alongside him, fine. This guy is one of the slowest, most ridiculous, and he can't play. He can't play in a back two, in a back four. Sorry, he can't play in the centre back two. So why on God's green earth, when he was shitting a three in our worst defensive team ever in the Premier League, go, do you know what? That's your best position. I'm going to bring you back to play in a back two where you can't defend. I can't. Listen, I wish him no harm. I wish him all the luck in the world in his future. But your future best not be in N17. Your future best not be in N17 because let's just say Ben and I might be taking over someone's YouTube, or we might be on the YouTube airspace for quite long. We might even stay on till we both literally fall asleep, just ranting about one Clement Lenglet.
I do think though, Brian, there are rants about things and players that are in the club that are, if you're going to tell me there's no way that Clement Lenglet is worse than Davis and Dyer, right? Not a chance. Not a chance. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that's not. I put him on par with them. I'll put him on par with them.
Listen, Davis and Dyer would never play for Barcelona. In fact,
They would if Daniel Levy was chairman.
I saw Davis play for against, was it Estonia? I don't know if it was Estonia, with that great pairing of Davis and Rodon, right? And they conceded 4 goals. That was an amazing sight to see. I mean, Rodon, can I just talk about Rodon just for a second?
Fire away, buddy.
How did he, I mean, he turned up looking miserable as sin, right? Back at training. He get on the plane looking miserable as sin. He came out of the thing looking miserable as sin. Whereas if a guy was all about energy, right? I mean, who thought at £12 million you can get a guy who can't even get off the bench for Rennes, right, in France? And we bought this guy. I mean, thankfully now we have recruitment, right? I know people don't agree with it, but we have scouts and recruitment now that are in place where a Rodon, I don't believe, would ever happen again. And while they're there,
yeah, that's a bold statement, especially while we have these owners. So we'll go on to the next one. Next one is from Michael. Does Ange bench Kane at all to send a message to the club to make a decision on his status after a comprehensive statement that he is staying, or obviously off he goes? Yeah, we'll have a quick chat about Kane. Johnny,
what did he say? What did he say? I didn't like the comment. Whilst he's here, that's what Ange said.
Yep.
That word, that short little paragraph was enough to suggest that he doesn't even know. This is what I'm saying. You know, the thing I loved about Ange, that I was told about Ange, he will tell Levy as it is, right? He will say, I'm not having these players. That's what he did at Celtic. That's what he did at Yokohama. He came into Australia and got rid of all the old guard. So I was expecting, when that plane was announced, no Dyer, no Davis, no this, no that, and he'd cull them. No. So that was the first warning that maybe, you know, all this bravado chat has been diluted. Now with the Kane scenario, what I felt was in that first game against West Ham, he did absolutely nothing in that game, and no one said a word. Yet Richarlison, who was battling, trying, hit the post, was causing all sorts of havoc, leaving space behind for Lo Celso, Devine, and Sarr to exploit. Got absolute pelters. In fact, all morning, right, it's all been Richarlison's crap. We've moved on now from the Kane scenario. Kane seems to have a pass. Now, I'd like to see Ange turn around and say, right, his head's not in it, right? Or we don't know if he's staying or going. I'm just going to put him on the bench or not start the game. That will get fans talking. I'd like to see him take control, because if we start the season, or if he comes out and says those immortal line, Eric Dyer could be world class. You forget your Lenglet rant. Right? I will be going that the whole season. Right?
Mate, let's see if both happen. But yeah, Michael, all I have to say, I'm with Kane. I spoke about it quite in depth yesterday. I think come the end of the window, Harry Kane is wearing a Bayern Munich shirt. That's my opinion. I think this is too far gone now, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I think he's gone, and what do you do? You know what I will say before we move on to the next question? We've got a few piling up. Ange is now in the position, because of how the club have let this fester, and because Harry Kane hasn't come out and said anything or agreed to the contract. If he leaves him out, the media and we're going to have a field day. That's it. It's a message. He's off. If he starts, it's like, oh wait a minute, maybe we're in a position now, because of everyone apart from Ange in this scenario have allowed us to get to this stage, because it's just been allowed to fester and go on. No matter what happens, if he's on the bench, oh that's it. He's off. He's done. We're we're going to have to wait and see. Next question. Andy Lloyd, I haven't seen you about for a bit. Loving that profile picture, my friend. But just to let you know, Johnny, way before I knew you, reason I always keep an eye out and see Andy Lloyd's name is when we sat Mourinho, Andy sent a email to one of the bookies, I can't remember which one, asking for the odds of Brian Daiglesman becoming the next manager. And got an email saying, we've done our research and we can't give you the odds for that. So whenever I see this name, I always keep an eye out. The top boy is Andy. So it looks like Dele might get a shock. Might get a shot back in the Everton team, I'm thinking that says. Do you think we might see that 10 million add-on coming our way? And if so, how much of it will be spent on the Dele Carnus?
I think it will end up being spent on a plunge pool for his new Bahamas home, probably.
Or a plunge pool to jump off the skywalk and land into. Why Absal when you can jump to a plunge pool?
There's meant to be they're meant to be building there the deepest indoor dive centre.
Yep.
Because that's what we need right now. So we can drown some of the dissenting fans. Yeah.
Oh, mate. All I will say with Dele is, listen, I think he's going to get game time at Everton now. I think he's going to come back. I pray to God. I mean, I will say when he came back with Everton last time, I just got back to Toronto, and I had this discussion with Ben and Simeon at We Are Tottenham TV, and they were asking me, if you were at the game, would you clap him? And I was like, nope, I'm not clapping him. I won't boo him, but I won't clap him. I won't sing his name. But that was just, it weren't out of disrespect. Well, if it was disrespect, I'd start booing him. But you know what? After everything that's come out, and obviously you don't know what you don't know, this man, wherever he goes now, is going to get a lot of respect. And he's going to get given time by not just Spurs fans, not just Everton fans, but football fans. And a happy Dele is a deadly weapon to have. And can you imagine if they had the Dele that we had last season when Everton was struggling? Everton wouldn't be struggling. It's as simple as that. So hopefully,
Brian, sorry to interrupt you there, right?
No, go on.
What I'm a little bit upset about, right? Listen, I thought the Dele Alli video was very powerful, but I happen to know, like with Danny Rose, when he was going through his health issues, he didn't get anywhere near the support that Dele's got. In fact, what he got was ridiculed. Okay. I think it's kind of sad, he has, Dele's with CAA, and they're very, very good at PR and marketing and stuff. And I think it was a very, very good video with a very good host. I'm not always the biggest fan of Gary Neville, but I think he handled it very well. But yeah, I think Dele's got another 15 games, is it? Before we get the money. I can't remember how many games in total. I thought it was 30 games before we get another 10 million. Listen, I think most fans out there would be over the moon if he turned up and ended up playing for England again. Personally, I think there's too many players now who've come into England who have superseded him for him ever to get back to the England team. But I really would like to see him come back and see the old Dele. But how things change, if we could, he was the most sung song at our stadium by all the fans for many, many years.
Yep.
It'd be a sad indictment of us as fans if he did come back and he was booed.
I don't think he will now. I don't think there's in. I think there was even talk that when Everton come back, that Spurs tifo thing are going to try and get a Dele Alli one in the South Stand, and that'd be amazing for people to see. Next one. Big up my brother Perchy. Everyone watch his show at 12 p.m. Perchy will be doing his lunchtime show. Much love to you both. If Hojbjerg goes, who would be your number one target and to replace him and why? I'm going to be very quick with this, Johnny. Then you can go. I don't want us spending any of that Hojbjerg money on a replacement for him. I want it to go on defenders. Johnny and I are a big fan of someone that's already in the team. I said it yesterday on a couple of streams. Papa Mata Sarr.
Yeah,
is the guy that I'd like to see given a chance there. Not Skip given all these chances and everything. Keep the money that we get. spend it on the defenders, get the deals done. There's going to be no excuse whatsoever. Papa Matasar is his replacement for me. What about you, Johnny?
One of two. If I had to do a like-for-like replacement, it's Lavia, 19 years of age. What a talent. What a talent. You know, unbelievable out possession, fantastic in possession. You know, his interceptions and ball recoveries are fantastic. And, you know, his ability when he does win the ball back to release it quickly and progressively. I just think he's got an incredible career ahead of him. And he's 19. The other one would be Paulinho at Fulham, who just, I mean, how he's not been snapped up already is beyond me. Maybe it's an age thing. I think it's 27, 28. But his numbers are insane. I mean, nearly twice as many interceptions and tackles and stuff that any other player in the Premier League. That takes some doing. I know it's a Fulham team, and so he should be having to tackle a lot more. But those would be my two players. I'd absolutely love Lavia at our club. I've gone on about him most through the season, and in this window, it looks like he's unfortunately going to go to Liverpool because I can't see us coughing up 50 million when we're struggling to come up with 5.
There you go. That's why again, like I said, Papa Matasar for me. Ryan, big up to you, brother. I caught a little bit of your video yesterday. I will get in touch with you later on today or over the weekend, brother. I hope you're good and feeling okay. Right, this is a Kane question. We're going to do these ones quick because we want to make sure we don't run over for Sava's show. Do you think Kane will go, and if so, when? So when, and who do you think comes in?
Right.
That was a very Mr. Burns laugh there. No, Sideshow Bob.
I'm just done with all this. It's just bullshit, right? You know, come out, say it, right? Harry Kane. Why is Harry Kane not at a press conference? Because no one wants to ask him. Let's protect Harry Kane. No, let's keep the fans happy. Let's sort of. Oh, Sonny didn't have any problem. Sonny going from the press. First question: why didn't you go to Saudi? Because I like the club and I want to prove myself here. Okay. Sonny, as soon as it went in the press, what did he do? Came straight out and said, no, I'm not going to Saudi. I want to stay at Tottenham. Okay. Harry Kane could have done this at any moment, right? He chose not to. He chose not to do any press conferences apart from a very brief hope England win the under-21 final. Good luck to you all. That's about the only thing we've heard from him. No trips on the golf course with Gary Neville, you know, saying, oh, poor me. I don't like the way he's carried on. I don't care if he goes. If he goes, good luck to him. He deserves whatever he gets, but treat us with some freaking respect. Okay, just come out and say it. If you're going to go to Germany and hold up a Frankfurter and say, you know, like, here I am, you know, yeah, I'm proud to be German, great. But please go, because right now you're damaging this club. Right, this is not Harry Kane FC. We are Tottenham Hotspur FC. We've had great players come and go at this club. You could list them all. We are still be Tottenham when he leaves. But give us some, you know, you need to go so that we can prepare ourselves for the season ahead. Do not drag this out, right, until August the 30th or 31st and leave us with nobody.
Replacement.
Ferguson.
Okay, you go for Ferguson. So I'm going to say, listen, I don't know when, but I think it will be this window. That's all I say. I don't know when it will be. And again, when it comes to replacements, I said yesterday, for me right now, it's more important. It's more important. I can see someone in the back end. There's a Tottenham on tour member. Come on, bring yourself in, Ben.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey,
so.
Morning.
So I personally think, again, I've said it and I'm not going to back down to everything I say. I've said centre-backs, we need centre-backs. I think if you look at it right now, if Kane does go, you have Son, Kulusevski, Richarlison, Solomon, Maddison. I trust that 5 right now to get us through to January or whatever next season. more than I trust our entire defence to not concede. So for me, that 5, all right, you're not going to get 30. Richarlison might not get or won't get 30 goals like Kane. I just don't see him doing 30 goals this season. Not to say he won't in the future.
Who does?
But
Who does?
exactly. So for me, I'd use that money like Liverpool, and it's so easy it's the obvious comparison, isn't it? Coutinho, Liverpool needed a goalkeeper desperately, a centre back desperately. They didn't go and replace Coutinho with a Coutinho-esque player. They addressed the areas that needed addressing with the money that needed it. So we'll do that one. Ben, you're going to go first on the next one, mate. First of all, how are you, brother?
Doing all right. It's a usual thing. Starting my morning with a cup of coffee, as you know, some Fox's biscuits, and it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, I've got to say at the beginning.
And I've not exploded talking about Clement Lenglet.
Yeah, so I thought when I was making my morning coffee and I heard of Ashley Phillips, I thought I had to get this mug out, didn't I?
Yeah, absolutely.
I had to get that out. So Ben, you're going to do the next one, and then we'll go Johnny, then me.
Oh, God. Would you rather
came at the right
shot in
time.
the face or shot in the face twice? I'm going to say Davinson Sanchez, because I think there is a player there. I just don't think we know how to get the best out of him. Whereas Lenglet, he's got the turning circle of a battleship. He can't defend. And I'd rather have Sanchez for one more year than sign Lenglet on a three-year deal at 190 grand a week.
I think he's going to take a pay cut.
He's
but it's
taking
still too
a
much.
pay cut to 100 grand.
It's still too much. Too much. For Lenglet, it's unacceptable. Lenglet is awful. I've said it ages. Lenglet was the biggest fraud at the football club last year, because whenever you criticised Clement Lenglet's absolutely abysmal performances, you'd say, oh, but at least he can pass. Oh, at least he's good at crossing. Defenders are not supposed to cross. They're supposed to defend. It says
But Ben, tell the people who slaughter Emerson Royal because he can do everything but cross the ball.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So in the words of Nick's not in the house. Emma Goat. Hashtag Emma Goat. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I have to say, you and me may be the president of the Long Layout fan club, but Johnny and Nick are definitely presidents and CEOs of the Emerson In Club.
Appreciation Society.
No, listen.
No, I mean that in a good way. You stuck through him.
No. I want Buongiorno, right, from Torino, the Torino captain, right?
Yeah.
He's about 15 million, 20 million tops, right? I would rather have him, 24 years of age, just 24, Torino captain, and just come into the Italian team to replace Bastoni. So I'd rather have him. Huh?
Bonucci on a free. He's been expelled from the...
I mean, you're talking about a 24-year-old who's just come into the Italian team to replace Bastoni. I think he's got more longevity going forward, and that's what we need. Youth.
What about both? What about
I'm going to say very
for the dressing room. He'd be amazing for that dressing room. Leadership, experience, winning mentality. Have him as a substitute in a League Cup game. But if he's around that dressing room, he knows how to win. That's the player you need as your sub.
Trouble is,
Ben,
Italian.
Ben, if you're going to come in here and talk sense, I'm going to kick you right back out. This isn't where we talk sense. Take your common sense and logic out the door. We're talking about Tottenham Hotspur here. Very quickly, Johnny, what's your answer? Sanchez or Lenglet?
Sanchez.
So
in the high line system, Sanchez is quick. He's the quickest. He's the quickest of our defenders. So yes.
So we've got a full house. I was going to say neither, but only because Davinson Sanchez needs to get away from us for his own well-being and to resurrect his career. But like the way Ben put it, saying I'd rather have him for 1 year and let him go on a free than sign Clement Lenglet on a 3 whatever year and have another one, trading one for the other. So we're definitely doing that. Johnny, you'll go next this one, and this is a question that people, our new left wing, our new left back, can Udogie defend? Because he wasn't required to defend in the second half, and Reguilon was so bad he made Bowen the MVP.
Right, for a start, Porro was far worse, right, as a defender. Yeah. What Udogie has is incredible pace. you saw when he carried the ball from that left side up the field very quickly. So what he has got, if he does make a mistake, he has the pace to rectify it. I think we need to give Reguilon a little bit of time. I think we need to give all the players a bit of time. We're judging everyone well and badly on one game against West Ham when they'd played 3 games, guys, 3 games, and we'd played 1. This was our first game. They also had the sense to arrive not 2 days before the game, to save a bit of money on hotel bills. They went there on a proper tour and did it properly. So there were a lot of mitigating circumstances. So I do think that Reguilon is a possibility that he could stay. He's a bit lightweight, but I would keep Reguilon as a backup to Udogie, and I would keep Perisic to play as a left winger, but as a left wing because that's his position, not as a left wing back. But for me, Sessegnon's a waste of space. So I'd keep Reguilon, keep Udogie as defence, and keep those 2 so we can spend the money on our centre-backs, not another left-sided player.
There you go. Ben?
Yeah, I think Udogie can defend very, very well. Johnny's got it spot on. The pace the man has is ridiculous. The strides and the pace. If he's coached properly by Ange, and I think he will be because Ange is a very good coach, I think this boy is going to be absolutely sensational. I think he's going to be a monster. If we can get a proper number 6 to drop into those centre-back positions and just say, go, he will roast people with his power. And I think he's going to be I think he's going to be brilliant. Reguilon, I actually quite like Reguilon. I quite like him. But again, he just needs coaching, I think. But he's had too many injuries. He's had too many injuries for a young...
Good. He's had too many injuries, Ben. He comes back to our medical team.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you were...
No, listen, hang on. He had an injury. Let's be serious here. He had an injury, went to the hospital to have an operation for that injury and caught a horrendous virus that nearly killed him. So, and he's been out for months because of that virus. He literally had to fight his way back. He was seriously, seriously ill. So he's come a long way. I've got to say, the camaraderie and the energy in the camp is something that I've noticed was not there with Conte last season.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't see that. Bissouma, Emerson, Richarlison, all of them. There seems to be a lot of camaraderie, and Reguilon and Lo Celso all seem to be part and parcel of that.
It's interesting because those are the people that I think that Conte had issues with them because they were always late for training. And that doesn't go well. Even if you're a minute late for training, Conte doesn't accept that. It's whether this regime that's now running the football side are a bit more lenient. I think if you give them a bit of freedom, they might be able to do the job. But it's whether you can channel that enthusiasm and that camaraderie into a really good football set. I think if they try and play really good football, I think it can work. But I think that there is a
players, Ben.
that dressing room. It's there's a lack of leaders.
I think
there we go. So let me just go, Johnny, because I've got to make sure we've got 12 minutes left before Sava goes live, and we've got a couple of things to get through. So first of all, I think Udogie, like you're both saying, I think he's the real deal. I think he may need a little bit more coaching to be a bit more defensive in the Premier League, but he has all the attributes. We have everything there for a very, very good player in the future. And for now, actually. Next one, I'm going to answer this quickly. And this guy is a great supporter of myself, the channel, and especially on social media, on my Twitter. When grief comes in, I have a load of people now that will now stand up and fight my corner and support me as opposed to bashing me. And Barry and Baxter is one of the biggest ones. So big up if you're still in the chat. And he said, Big D Daigle, the man who started the movement to correct Levy's wrongs. What I will say is,
I wouldn't say you started the movement, but you're allowed.
What I'm about to say is, listen, there are a lot of people that I do what I do. What I will say is I was the first one that started it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was the first one that started getting it out also because obviously when I made my debut on We Are Tottenham TV, the very first thing I discussed, funnily enough, was Daniel Levy.
No.
But actually, no, the very first time I went on was actually when we signed Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. And I spoke really well about, or not, I didn't speak really well, but I spoke about how happy I was with that deal. And then obviously carried on about Levy, yada, 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 and started. Then obviously Stel, Danny Kiriakou. But then it all started coming on YouTube. So on as much as a YouTube channel thing, I probably would say without being a big head, I'm probably the most predominantly known Levy out person with Stel on here. Certainly the first. Sava as well. You've got to remember Perch. I mean, then you've got all the wonderful people / family that I do the protesting with, who have literally been. We are one big unit. Billy Carnes, Boogie, Andrew Rose, Andrew Cooper. I could go on. I could name 100 names. Graham, Ryan Isaacs.
Graham, Brian.
Mate, like I said, there's so many names I could mention that I always do this, that I miss out. Johnny comes to the protest as well. I see a lot of people say to Johnny, why don't you protest? Why don't you get there? Like the second half of last season, he was there every single one of them.
Do you know what, Brian? I mean, this is it. But I think people just like to give you grief. Yeah,
of course they do.
You're all full of it. You're all full of it, but you never go. Right? Well, hang on a minute. If you ever went, you'd see me.
This is it. And with Ben, this is the thing. And I get a lot of grief on Twitter, and I know I do. And listen, if I put myself in this position that I do, where I go on YouTube channels, I have my own YouTube channel with the wonderful team that I do this with, where we're all part of this channel. We all go on our other streams. I'm very vocal on social media. Of course, it's going to come my way. Of course, it's going to come away. It's you got to take the perks and the lows when they come. But yeah, Barry and Baxter, I may have started something on social media, or not social media, on YouTube, with being speaking about it non-stop against a crowded space where no one was speaking about it. But the hardcore people like Graham, Billy Carnes, and everyone who have been protesting for years, it's one big happy family, and we're not stopping. We are not stopping. And before I get on to Philly's question, super chat from someone I haven't seen for a long time, Mr. 57 Screens. Mr. 57 Screens, Wayne, I hope you're doing good, brother. Johnny, I'll let you go with this one first, because you and the youth team...
I mean, look, he went to Charlton and didn't really impress Wayne. So I think they signed him basically to sell him, okay? Because we were doing bringing so many youth players through and letting them go for nothing. I think he's a championship player, personally, but many players seem to fail coming through from youth. They go backwards and then resurge through their career and end up playing again through a promoted team and end up playing in the Premier League. It's happened time and time again. So, you know, maybe Niall John will come back and play in the Premier League. Personally, I think he is a championship player who, in the right team, could get promoted. I think he's a balance between the two, to be honest with you.
There we go.
Talking about Niall John at Charlton Athletic, because if he can't get in a team over someone that grew up playing football with me in Jack Payne, he can't be that great. He can't be that great, to be honest. And I'm a terrible footballer. So,
yeah.
There we go. There we go. We've got one more question. But before we do the one question, I'm going to say with Angelo, he ditched his missus to watch Tottenham on tour. I would say something about that. About my,
good man.
That's right. I've got to be careful what I say as well. I'm here in London. I've ditched the missus to come and protest and do what I do. I haven't got the balls to say that when I'm in the same room as my wife. So big props to you. And we'll do the final question. Ben, you go first. Bit of a comedic one from Philly, I think, who's left the building because he's got to get ready for Sava's show. Everyone, do not forget to watch Sava's show directly after this. Football Heritage TV, going live at 10 a.m. Question: will Spurs ever stop the game of charades and Levy finally name himself as manager?
Oh, the year is 1865. Unfortunately, I don't think Levy's going to give himself the job because he'll have to sack himself in 18 months. And I don't think he really wants to do that. So I think he's just going to find another pawn in one of his Ponzi schemes to do it. So no, I don't think he's ever going to name himself manager.
Okay.
I'll go very quickly. Johnny, I'll let you go. I just have to say, I don't think, even if we're joking about whatever, if he, let's just say in a parallel world that he did do that, the abuse he would get. I mean, we saw how bad it was with balloons from us and the singing at the end, and he won't have his wife by his side to rub his thigh. He's going to have to get his brother-in-law or whoever it is to start rubbing his thigh. Could you imagine? I think that is the one time if, and again, this is all with parallel universe, if he ever announced himself as manager and was on the touchline, if I was ever in that ground again, which I won't be whilst he's in charge, I would run onto the pitch and try and get to him. Wouldn't do anything to him, but I'd love to just go like this to him, right in front of him. I'd just run up to him and just go, and as always. And then that would be the end of me. Johnny, could you...
Oh, for me, as we're playing charades.
Sounds like.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right. Guys,
Donna
everyone...
Cullen's got more chance. Donna Cullen would be the manager and he would be the gimp.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that lady as well, because it will go on past the hour. So first of all, the 145 plus that have been here, thank you so much for joining us on a pop-up. There may be
guys.
Don't forget to push the like and subscribe. Ben, how many away from hitting that magic 6,000?
We are We are 30 people away. So 30.
Come on,
people
guys, smash the
subscribe.
like.
Let's try and get there. So
on tour. If 30 people can subscribe to Tottenham on tour, that would be really helpful.
Go on, carry on, Ben.
It'd be
Right,
great
so
if you
Johnny,
all subscribe and make sure you like, because that really helps push the algorithm, as El Beggio, Mr. Perch likes to say. Like that stream.
So Johnny, as I said, you and I will be back Sunday. Look, he's done it so often now. He's got it down to fine art. The right finger, the right hand, Johnny.
It's taken me a few weeks to get my finger movement just right. Give me a follow here, guys. Come on the spaces. Always welcome, as Brian is, or anyone who wants to come in and chat. Always good to have you on. And thanks, Brian and Ben, for having me on. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, Johnny, you and I will be back. You and I will be back with our show on Sunday, the Anger Management Report. Everyone, go and watch Ben the Kaufman show. Ben, I'm going to ask you what you've got going on today in a minute, but I've got one final question. It's come from our brother Kuva, who wants to ask you a question, Johnny. When you were doing your charades, was it a bullshit or a gay snell? Which one? Which one was it?
Have you seen it? Oh yeah. Right. Okay. No, there was no rear entry involved in my charade. No, it was definitely bullshit. Yes.
So, Ben, what's going on in your show today?
Who knows? No one ever knows what's going to happen on the coffee company, and that's the beauty of it. But today we're probably going to be basking in the sunshine, not talking about Tottenham as always, and just have a nice time. We've got some new t-shirts, which I am wearing one of them today. So if you want to support us, you can buy a t-shirt now. And yeah, we're just going to have fun. We're just going to have fun, drink some coffee, and maybe eat some biscuits. That's all we want.
There you go. So listen, everyone go and follow Johnny on Twitter. Everyone go and watch the coffee. I can't do it, Johnny. You see, I went that way wrong. Go and watch the coffee channel. It's a great. We're trying to get him to 400 and above. So please follow him. Everyone go over to Savas now, because the Football Heritage TV will be going right now. And if you are going over, just put Tottenham on Tour Raid or TOT Raid so he knows you have come from us. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, Levy out.
Ta-da.